Damn my hair. It just won't behave, and damn Catherine Cavagna for being ill and subjecting me to this ordeal. I should be studying for my final exams, which are next week. Yet here I am trying to brush my hair into submission. I must not sleep with it wet. I must not sleep with it wet. Reciting this mantra several times, I attempt, once more, to bring it under control with the brush. I roll my eyes in exacerbation and gaze at the pale, brown-haired girl with blue eyes, too big for her face, staring back at me, and give up. My only option is to restrain my wayward hair in a ponytail and hope that I look semi-presentable. Kate is my roommate, and she has chosen today of all days to succumb to the flu. Therefore, she cannot attend to the interview she'd arranged to do. Some mega-industrialist tycoon I've never heard of, with a student newspaper. So I have been volunteered. I have final exams to cram for, one essay to finish, and I'm supposed to be working this afternoon. But no. Today, I have to drive 164 miles to downtown Seattle in order to meet the enigmatic CEO of Grey Enterprises Holdings,
User in your channel started recording.
As an exceptional entrepreneur and major benefactor of our university, his time is extraordinarily precious, much more precious than mine. But he has granted Kate an interview, a real coup, she tells me. Damn her extracurricular activities, Kate is huddled on the couch in the living room. Anna, I'm sorry. It took me 9 months to get to this interview. It will take another 6 to reschedule. And we'll both have to graduate by then. As the editor, I can't blow this off. Please, Kate begs me in her rasping, sore throat voice. How does she do it? Even ill, she looks gamine and gorgeous, strawberry blonde hair in place and green eyes bright. Although now rimmed and runny, I ignore my pang of unwelcome sympathy. Of course I'll go, Kate. You should get back to bed. Would you like some Nyquil or Tylenol? Nyquil, please. Here are the questions and my mini disc recorder. Just press record here. Make notes. I'll transcribe it all. I know nothing about him, I murmur, trying and failing to suppress my rising panic. The questions will see you through. Go. It's a long drive. I don't want you to be late. Okay. I'm going. Get back to bed. I made you some soup to heat later. I stare at her fondly. Only for you, Kate. Would I do this? I will. Good luck. And thanks, Anna, as usual. You're my lifesaver. Gathering my satchel, I smile wryly at her, and then head out the door to the car. I cannot believe I have let Kate talk me into this. But then Kate cannot talk to anyone into anything. She'll make an exceptional journalist. She's articulate, strong, persuasive, argumentative, beautiful. And she's my dearest, dearest friend. The road's clear as I set off from Vancouver toward Portland and the I-5. It's early, and I don't have to be in Seattle for another 2 this afternoon. Fortunately, Kate's lent me her sporty Mercedes CLK. I'm not sure wonder. My old VW Beetle would make the journey in time. Oh, the Merc is a fun drive, and the miles slip away as I floor the pedal to the metal. My destination is the headquarters of Mr. Gray's global enterprise. It's a huge 20-story office building, all curved glass and steel. An architect's illustrious fantasy, with Grey House written discreetly in steel over the glass front doors. It's 1:45 when I arrive, greatly relieved that I am not late as I walk into the enormous and frankly intimidating glass, steel and white sandstone lobby. Behind the solid sandstone desk, a very attractive groomed, blonde young woman smiles pleasantly at me. She's wearing the sharpest charcoal suit jacket and white shirt I've ever seen. She looks immaculate. I'm here to see Mr. Gray, Anastasia Steele, for Catherine Cavagna. Excuse me one moment, Miss Steele. She arches her eyebrows slightly as I stand self-consciously before her. I'm beginning to wish I'd borrowed one of Kate's formal blazers rather than wear my navy blue jacket. I've made an effort and worn my one and only skirt, my sensible brown knee-length boots, and a blue sweater. For me, this is smart. I took one of the escaped tendrils of my hair behind my ears as I pretend she doesn't intimidate me. Miss Cavagna is expected. Please sign in here, Miss Steele. You want the last elevator on the right. Press for the 20th floor. She smiles kindly at me. Amused, no doubt, as I sign in. He hands me a security pass that has visitor friendly firmly stamped on the front. I can't help my smirk. Surely it's obvious that I'm just visiting. I don't fit in here at all. Nothing changes. I inwardly sigh, thanking her. I walk over to the bank of elevators past. The two security men, who are both far more smartly dressed than I am, in their well-cut black suits. The elevators whisk me with terminal velocity to the 20th floor. Doors slide open, and I'm in another large lobby. Again, all glass, steel, and white sandstone. I'm confronted by another desk of sandstone and another young blonde woman dressed impeccably well in black and white, who rises to greet me again. Miss Steele, could you wait here, please? He points to a seated area of white leather chairs. Behind the leather chairs is a spacious glass-walled meeting room with an equally spacious dark wood table and at least 20 matching chairs around it. Beyond that, there is a floor-to-ceiling window with a view of the Seattle skyline that looks out through the city. Toward the sound, it's a stunning vista. I'm momentarily paralyzed by the view. Wow. I sit down, fish the questions from my satchel, and go through them, inwardly cursing Kate for not providing me with brief biography. I know nothing about this man I'm about to interview. He could be 90 or it could be 30. The uncertainty is galling. My nerves resurface, making me fidget. I've never been uncomfortable with one-on-one interviews. I prefer the anonymity of a group discussion where I can sit inconspicuously at the back of the room. To be honest, I prefer my own company. Reading a classic British novel, curled up in a chair, campus library. Not sitting twitching nervously in a colossal glass and stone building. I roll my eyes at myself, get a grip, steel. Judging from the building, which is too clinical and modern, I get grading. Is in his 40s, fit, tanned, and hair to match the rest of the personnel. Another elegant, flawlessly dressed blonde comes out of a large door to the right. What is it with all these impeccable blondes? It's like Stepford here. Taking a deep breath, I stand up. Miss Steele? The latest blonde asks. Yes. I croak and clear my throat. Yes. That sounds more confident. Mr. Gray will see you in a moment. May I take your jacket? Oh, please. I struggle out the jacket. Have you been offered any refreshment? No. Oh dear. Is blonde number 1 in trouble? Blonde number 2 frowns and her eyes at the desk. Would you like tea, coffee, water? She asks, turning her attention back to me. Glass of water, thank you, I murmur. Olivia, please fetch Miss Steele a glass of water. Her voice is stern. Olivia scoots up immediately and scurries to a door to the other side of the foyer. My apologies, Miss Steele. Olivia is our new intern. Please be seated. Mr. Gray will be another 5 minutes. Olivia returns with a glass of ice water. Here you go, Miss Steele. Thank you. Blonde number 2 marches over to the large desk. Her heels clicking and echoing on the sandstone floor. She sits down. They both continue their work. Perhaps Mr. Gray insists on all his employees being blonde. I'm wondering idly if that's legal. An office door opens and a tall, elegantly dressed, attractive African-American man with short red exits. I've definitely worn the wrong clothes. He turns and says through the door, "Golf this week, Gray." I don't hear the reply. He turns, sees me, and smiles. His dark eyes crinkling at the corners. Olivia has jumped up and called the elevator. She seems to excel at jumping her seat. She's more nervous than me. Good afternoon, ladies, he says as he departs through the sliding door. Mr. Gray will see you now, Miss Steele. You go through. Blonde number 2 says. I stand rather shakingly to suppress my nerves. Gathering up my satchel, I abandon my glass of water and make my way to the partially open door. You don't need to knock, just go in, she smiles kindly. I push open the door and stumble through, tripping over my own feet and falling headfirst into the office. Double crap. Me and my 2 left feet. I'm on my hands and knees in the doorway to Mr. Gray's office. Gentle hands are around me, helping me to stand. I'm so embarrassed. Damn my clumsiness. I have to steel myself to glance up. Holy cow, he's so young. Miss Wagner extends a long-fingered hand to me once I'm upright. Christian Gray, are you all right? Would you like to sit? So young and attractive, very attractive. He's tall, dressed in a fine grey suit, white shirt and black tie, with an unruly dark copper-coloured hair and intense, bright grey eyes that regard me shrewdly. It takes a moment for me to find my voice. Actually, I mutter, if this guy is over 30, then I'm a monkey's uncle. In a daze, I place my hands in his and we shake. As our fingers touched, I felt an odd, exhilarating shiver run through me. I withdraw my hand, hastily embarrassed. Must be static. I blink rapidly, my eyelids matching my heart rate. Miss Wagner is indisposed, so she sent me. I hope you don't mind, Mr. Gray. And you are? His voice is warm, possibly amused, but it's difficult to tell from his impassive expression. He looks madly interested, but above all, polite. Anastasia Steele, studying English literature with Catherine. Miss Wagner, Washington State. See, he says simply. I think I see the ghost of a smile in his expression, but I'm not sure. Would you like to sit? He waves toward me with a white leather-buttoned L-shaped couch. His office is way too big for just one man. In front of the floor to the ceiling windows, there's a huge modern darkwood desk that 6 people could comfortably eat around. It matches the coffee table by the couch. Everything else is white, ceiling, floors and walls, except on the wall by the door, where a mosaic of small paintings hang. 36 of them arranged in a square. They are exquisite, a series of mundane, forgotten objects painted in such precise detail they look like photographs. Displayed together, they are breathtaking. A local artist, Truton, says Gray when he catches my grace. Lovely. Raising the ordinary to the extraordinary, I murmur, distracted both by him and the paintings. He cocks his head to one side and regards me intently. I couldn't agree more, Miss Steele, he replies. His voice soft, and for some explicable reason, I find myself blushing. Apart from the paintings, the rest of the office is cold, clean, and clinical. I wonder if it reflects the personality of the Adonis who sinks gracefully into one of the white leather chairs opposite me. I shake my head, disturbed by the direction of my thoughts, and retrieve Kate's questions from a satchel. Next, I set up the mini disc recorder, and I'm all fingers and thumbs. Dropping it twice on the coffee table in front of me, Mr. Gray says nothing. Waiting patiently, I hope, as I become more increasingly embarrassed and flustered. When I pluck up the courage to look at him, he's watching me, one hand relaxed in his lap, and the other cupping his chin and trailing his long index finger along his lips. I think he's trying to suppress a smile. Sorry, I stutter, I'm not used to this. Take all the time you need, Miss Steele, he says. Do you mind if I record your answers? After you've taken so much trouble to set up the recorder, you ask me now? Flush, he's teasing me, I hope. I blink at him, unsure what to say. I think he takes pity on me because he relents. No, I don't mind. Did Kate, Miss Wagner, explain what the interview was for? Yes. To appear in the graduation issue of the student newspaper, as I shall be conferring the degrees at this year's graduation ceremony. Oh, this is news to me. I'm temporarily preoccupied by the thought that someone much older than me, okay, maybe 6 years or so, and okay, mega successful, but still is going to present me with my degree. I frown, drag my wayward attention back to the task at hand. Good. I swallow nervously. I have some questions, Mr. Gray. A smooth, straight look of hair behind my ear. Thought you might, he says, deadpan. He's laughing at me. My cheeks heat at the realization, and I sit up square and square my shoulders in an attempt to look taller and more intimidating. Pressing the start button on the recorder, I try to look professional. You're very young to have amassed such an empire. What do you owe to such success? I glance up at him. His smile is rueful. He looks vaguely disappointed. Business is all about people, Miss Steele, and I'm very good at judging people. I know how they tick, what makes them flourish, what doesn't, what inspires them, or to intensify them. I employ an exceptional team. I reward them very well. He pauses and fixes me with a grey stare. My belief is to achieve success in any scheme. One has to make oneself master of that scheme, know it inside and out, know every detail. I work hard, very hard to do that. I make decisions based on logic and facts. I have natural gut instinct that can spot and nurture a good solid idea and good people. The bottom line is, it's always down to good people. Maybe just lucky. This isn't on Kate's list, but he's so arrogant, his eyes flare momentarily in surprise. Don't subscribe to Luck or Chance, Miss Steele. The harder I work, the more luck I seem to have. It really is all about having the right people on your team and directing their energies accordingly. I think it was Harvey Firestone who said, "The growth and development of people is the highest calling of leadership." You sound like a control freak. Words are out of my mouth before I can stop them. Oh, I exercise control in all things, Miss Steele. He says without a trace of humour in his smile. I look at him. He holds my gaze steadily, impassive. My heartbeat quickens and my face flushes again. Why does he have such an unnerving effect on me? His overwhelming good looks, maybe? The way his eyes blaze at me, the way he strokes his index finger against his lower lip. I wish he stopped doing that. Besides, immense power is acquired by assuring yourself in your secret reveries that you are born to control things, he continues, his voice soft. Do you feel that you have immense power, control freak? I employ over 40,000 people, Miss Steele. That gives me a certain sense of responsibility. Power, if you will. If I were to decide that I was no longer interested in the telecommunications business and sell up, 20,000 people would struggle to make their mortgage payments after a month or so. My mouth drops open. I am staggered by his lack of humility. Don't you have a board to answer to? I asked, disgusted. I own my own company. I don't have to answer to a board. He raises an eyebrow at me, a flush, of course. I would know this if I had done some research, but holy crap, he's so arrogant. I change tack. And do you have any interest outside your work? I have varied interest, Miss Steele. A ghost of a smile touches his lips. Very varied. And for some reason I'm confounded and heated by his steady gaze. His eyes are all right with some wicked thought. A light. If you work so hard, what do you do to chill out? Chill out? He smiles, revealing perfect white teeth. I stop breathing. Really is beautiful. Don't you be this good looking? Well, to chill out, as you put it, a sail, a fly. I indulge in various physical pursuits. He shifts in his chair. I'm a very wealthy man, Miss Steele, and I have expensive and absorbing hobbies. I glance quickly at Kate's questions, wanting to get off this subject. You invest in manufacturing. Why, specifically, I ask. Why does it make me so uncomfortable? I like to build things, I like to know how things work, what makes things tick, how to construct and deconstruct, and I have a love of ships. What else can I say? Sounds like your heart talking rather than logic and facts. His mouth quirks up and he stares appraisingly at me. Possibly. Though there are some people who say I don't have a heart. Why would they say that? Because they know me well. His lips curl in a wry smile. Your friends say you're easy to get to know. I regret this question as soon as I say it. It's not on Kate's list. I'm a very private person, Miss Steele. I go a long way to protect my privacy. I don't often give interviews. He trails off. Why did you agree to do this one? Because I'm a benefactor of the university, and for all intensive purposes, I couldn't get Miss Cavagna off my back. She badgered and badgered my PR people, and I admire that kind of tenacity. I know how tenacious Kate can be. That's why I'm sitting here squirming uncomfortably under his penetrating gaze when I should be studying for my exams. You also invest in farming technologies. Why are you interested in this area? We can't eat money, Miss Steele. There are too many people on this planet who don't have enough to eat. That sounds very philanthropic. It is something you feel passionately about, feeding the world's poor. He shrugs, very non-committal. Shrewd business, he murmurs. Though I think he's being disingenuous. It doesn't make sense. Feeding the world's poor? I can't see the financial benefits of this. Only the virtue of the ideal. I glance at the next question, confused by his attitude. Do you have a philosophy? If so, what is it? I don't have a philosophy as such. Maybe a guiding principle. Carnegie's, a man who acquires the ability to take full possession of his own mind may take the possession of anything else which he is unjustly titled. I'm very singular driven. I like control of myself and those around me. But you want to possess things. You are a control freak. You want to deserve to possess them, but yes, bottom line, I do. You sound like the ultimate consumer. I am, he smiles, but the smile doesn't touch his eyes. Again, this is at odds with someone who wants to feed the world. I can't help thinking that we're talking about something else. But I'm absolutely mystified as to what it is. I swallow hard. The temperature in the room's rising, or maybe it's just me. I just want this interview to be over. Surely Kate has had enough material now? I glance at the next question. You were adopted. How far do you think that shaped the way you are? Oh, this is personal. I stare at him, hoping he's not offended. His brow furrows. I have no way of knowing. My interest is piqued. How old were you when you were adopted? That's a matter of public record, Miss Steele. His tone is stern. I flush again. Crap. Yes, of course. If I'd known I was doing this interview, I would have done some research and move on quickly. You've had to sacrifice a family life for your work. That's not a question. He's terse. Sorry, I squirm. It's made me feel like an errant child. I try again. Have you had to sacrifice a family life for your work? I have a family. I have a brother and a sister and 2 living parents. I'm not interested in extending my family beyond that. Are you gay, Mr. Gray? He inhales sharply, and I cringe, mortified. Crap. Why didn't I employ some kind of filter before I read this straight out? How can I tell them I'm just reading the question? Damn Kate and her curiosity. No, Anastasia, I'm not. He raises his eyebrow. A cool gleam in his eye. He does not look pleased. I apologize, it's written here. It's the first time he said my name. My heart stopped. My heartbeat accelerated and my cheeks are heating up again. Nervously, I took my loosened hair behind my ear. He cocks his head to one side. These aren't your own questions? The blood drains from my head. Oh no. No, Kate, Miss Wagner, she compiled the questions. You colleagues on the student paper? Oh crap. I have nothing to do with the student paper. It's her extracurricular activity, not mine. My face is aflame. No, she's my roommate. He rubs his chin in quiet deliberation. His eyes are praising me. Did you volunteer to do this interview? He asks, his voice deadly quiet. Hang on, who's supposed to be interviewing whom? His eyes burn into me and I'm compelled to answer with the truth. I was drafted. She's not well. Her voice is weak and apologetic. That explains a great deal. There's a knock at the door and one number 2 enters. Mr. Gray, forgive me for interrupting, but your next meeting is in 2 minutes. I'm not finished here, Andrea. Please cancel my next meeting. Andrea hesitates, gaping at him. She appears lost. He turns his head slowly to face her and raises his eyebrows. He flushes bright pink. Oh good, it's not just me. Very well, Mr. Gray, she mutters, then exits. He frowns and turns his attention back to me. Where were we, Miss Steele? Oh, we're back to Miss Steele now. Please don't let me keep you from anything. I want to know about you. I think that's only fair. His grey eyes are alight with curiosity. Double crap. Where's he going with this? He places his elbows on the arms of the chair and steeples his fingers in front of his mouth. His mouth is very distracting. I swallow. There's not much to know, I say, flushing again. What are your plans after you graduate? I shrug, won by his interest. Come to Seattle with Kate, find a place, find a job. I haven't really thought beyond my finals. I haven't made any plans, Mr. Gray. I just need to get through my final exams, which I feel I should be studying for, rather than sitting in your palatial, swanky, sterile office, feeling uncomfortable under your penetrating gaze. We run an excellent internship program here, he says quietly. I raise an eyebrow in surprise. Is he offering me a job? Oh, I'll bear that in mind, I murmur, completely confounded. I'm not sure I fit in here. Oh no. I'm musing out loud again. Why do you say that? He cocks his head to one side, intrigued, a hint of a smile playing on his lips. It's obvious, isn't it? I'm uncoordinated, scruffy, and I'm not blonde. Not to me. he murmurs. His gaze is intense, all humour gone, and strange muscles deep in my belly clench suddenly. I tear my eyes away from his scrutiny and stare blindly down at my knotted fingers. What's going on? I have to go now. I lean forward to retrieve the recorder. Would you like me to show you around, he asks. I'm sure you're far too busy, Mr. Ray, and I do have a long drive. Driving back to WSU in Vancouver, he sounds surprised, anxious even. He glances out of the window. It's begun to rain. Well, you better drive carefully. His tone is stern, authoritative. Why should he care? Did you get everything you need? He adds. Yes, sir, I reply, backing the recorder into my satchel. His eyes narrow. Thank you for the interview, Mr. Gray. The pleasure's been all mine, he says, polite as ever. As I rise, he stands and holds out his hand, until we meet again, Miss Steele. And it sounds like a challenge or a threat. I'm not sure which. I frown. When will we ever meet again? I shake his hand once more, astounded that the odd current between us is still there. It must be my nerves. Mr. Gray, I nod at him, moving with lithe, athletic grace to the door. He opens it wide. Just ensuring you make it through the door, Miss Steele. He gives me a small smile. Obviously he's referring to my earlier less than elegant entry into his office. I flush. That's very considerate, Mr. Gray. I snap, and his smile widens. I'm glad you find me entertaining. I glow at him inwardly walking into the foyer. Surprised when he follows me out. Andrew and Olivia both look up, equally surprised. Did you have a coat? Gray asks. Yes. Olivia leaps up and retrieves my jacket, which Gray takes from her before she can hand it to me. He holds it up, feeling ridiculously self-conscious. I shrug it on. Gray places his hands for a moment on my shoulders. I gasp at the contact. If he notices my reaction, he gives nothing away. His long index finger presses the button, summoning the elevator, and we stand waiting, awkwardly on my part, coolly self-possessed on his. The doors open, and I hurry in, desperate to escape. I really need to get out of here. I turn and look at him. He's leaning against the doorway beside the elevator with one hand on the wall. He really is very good looking. It's distracting. His burning grey eyes gaze at me. Anastasia, he says as a farewell. Christian, I reply, and mercifully the doors close.